2023 Acura MDX Type S is one of the vehicles that I've been waiting for a long time to film. I've been reading about it, watching videos about it. I've been searching through the dealerships to see of who has one in their inventory. It allows me to film it, and finally I found it right here at Carguy Acura, Fort Pierce, Florida. Big shout out and thank you to those guys for allowing me to spend some time with this vehicle, film it, and bring you a complete tour of it. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to check it out from the exterior, interior, play with some amazing features on the interior of this vehicle, and what's the most important thing, at the end of this video, I'm going to take you for a spin in it with me, guys. Well, if this is the first time we meet, my name is Matt. Here on Matt the Car Guy, I post 2 car reviews every single week. So if automotive content is something that you enjoy watching, do me a favor, check out the rest of my channel, consider subscribing, really means a lot to me. And if you like this video, hit me up with a like. Now let's get back to this. Check this out, guys. After 22 years in the making, Acura finally has an MDX Type S. And why is that? Well, I'm not sure what the exact reasoning is behind it, but I can only imagine that a lot of parents right now grew up with the Integra's Type S or TL's Type S, some sort of a performance Honda or Acura vehicle, and now they want that for their family. So they still want the roominess, but they want it the performance that comes with it. So finally Acura answered that call, and now we have it. First ever SUV from Acura with a Type S badge on it. Let's check this out. If you like the color, it's called liquid carbon metallic. It looks really good. Let's check out the hood. Really nice and aggressive. It's got this long hood like for the sports car, right? Or for sports SUV. Several distinct body lines, one in the middle, one kind of faded on the side here, and one on the very edge of it, creating this more masculine, more sporty look for it. Now let's check this out. Most of the manufacturers right now are coming up with this huge massive grills. Acura not so much, but they have probably the biggest logo that I have ever seen on any vehicle that I reviewed. So big Acura logo right here. Behind it is where a lot of this technology hides for safety, and then big Type S right here. Now if you're looking at this grill right here, it looks like it exploded from the inside over here. It creates this very unique look. It is open to allow for the most air to get inside of the engine compartment, help with the cooling. And down below here you have another open area over here, and then of course you have this front fascia that's the same color as the rest of this vehicle. A little bit combination of this piano black, and now again this right here, that's for better aerodynamics, creates this better airflow, and that's really important if you're looking at the sporty SUV. And check out the lights. We can't forget about the lights because they're very unique. Now they have what they call the jewel eye LED lights, and then the chicane LED daytime running lights. Fully LED light setup, very nice, very bright. And then you have the LED fog lights that are hiding right underneath here. Very cool design. But what's really exciting, it's what hides underneath here. So let's check this out. And here it is, guys. It's a 3.0 turbocharged V6 engine that produces 355 horsepower. That's about 60 horsepower more than the standard version of the MDX. 354 pound-feet of torque. It's made it to a 10-speed automatic transmission with pedal shifters. It is also an sh all-wheel drive, so super handling all-wheel drive. I'm really excited. Towards the end of this video, we're going to take it for a spin and see how it handles. Now, as far as the performance, it has been tested about 5.5 seconds, 0 to 60, so not too shabby. It's actually pretty quick for a family SUV. Check out the rest of this engine compartment. I like the hood struts, I like the sound insulation, so it should have a nice and quiet ride. I've been a huge fan ever since Acura redesigned the MDX for 2022 model year. Now, there's no changes for 2023, but really like it. Now, look at this. It looks stylish, it looks sporty, it looks elegant, and check this out. It's got this nice flat hood. It's long, right, for a sports car. Now, everything kind of comes together with this driver-passenger compartment, and it's a nicely sloping down in here, again, for that more sporty look in the back. Now, let's start over here. Let's start with the wheels and tires, shall we? 21-inch rims. I like this. They're kind of this dark gray color, multi-spoke rims. As far as the size of the tires, 275 by 40, and we have the Continental cross-contact tires. And you have a performance vehicle. You need the performance brakes of it, so you can see the Brembo Acura brakes. The calipers, the red calipers, are basically peeking through this setup right here. All around this vehicle, you have this matte cladding. Now, this, I think I would change that, and especially on the higher end trims, this would look good in this carbon, liquid carbon color. Now, you also have this all the way underneath here. You have a lot of piano black, which on this particular one, I actually don't mind. So you have this piano black trim right at the bottom of the doors, and then you have this piano black that surrounds all of the windows. All the pillars are piano black. The mirror is piano black and does have the turn signal incorporated in it. What I don't see is I don't see any cameras right underneath here. Big Type S badge indicate that it's a performance SUV. You do have the smart entry system, so as long as the key is somewhere on you, you can lock and unlock this vehicle without pressing any of the buttons on the key. And you can see you have the foldable mirrors over here. All I have to do is stick my hand inside of the door handle and then unlock it for me. So let's move to the back and let's check the rest of it. Pretty aggressive back, if you ask me. It does have this sloping glass right here, exposed wiper. Now, it does have this gate spoiler with the third brake light incorporated in here. Acura logo, and again, a fully LED taillight setup. Now, those are the chicane LED lights. That includes the regular taillights, that includes the backup lights, that includes the turn signals, the whole 9 yards. And scrolling down here, you can see the reflector lights, which are required here in the United States. Type S on one side, MDX on the other side. A little bit of that piano black, kind of to combine everything and kind of join it all together. And then we have that liquid carbon color over here on the bumper. The rest of the bumper, including this diffuser, is matte black. But what I want to point out, and I'm sure you've noticed already, is this huge, massive exhaust on both sides. Dual exhaust, really nice. Again, an indication of a performance SUV. You do have the rear view camera, and the gate can be operated several different ways, including just simply pressing the button on it to see how much room we have in this SUV. Check this out, guys. Well, some of you ask me, hey Matt, why didn't you ever do like numbers of what the cargo space is? So here, this is how 48.4 cubic feet of space looks like behind the second row seat. Now, if you put the second row or third row up, you're going to be down to 18.1, and if you fold the second row flat, you're going to be about 95 cubic feet, which is a lot. I mean, so there's no question about it. Now, the one thing that I would like to see on this interior right off the bat, I can't reach these seats to fold them down, so I have to go around and actually fold them flat from the inside of this vehicle. That would be a nice feature to have, especially if you're looking at the premium SUV. So what do we have in here? We have a power outlet for 12 volt. This is like that cigarette lighter style adapter for 12 volt. You have a hook for your groceries, and that's pretty much it. Now, this one has this cargo mat that's for Type S, and it extends over the third row seats if they are folded down like we have on this vehicle right here. But it's easy to fold them up. Okay, all I have to do is pull on them. Not a big deal. Okay, it's a little bit harder to fold them down. And Look at this. This is that 18.1 inches or cubic feet of space. Now, number-wise, it doesn't tell you anything, but it's only usable up to here. Everything else, it's closed, but it still does have about the nice trunk space of a regular sedan. So what's underneath here? We have this second floor basically, so you have a little bit more of a cargo storage here. That's it. No spare tire on this vehicle. Well, I'm sure it's for the performance aspect and for weight savings, but I'm pretty sure that if you really wanted one, an Acura would sell you one. Well, I'm in the back seat, and I have to tell you, I wish it was a little bit roomier. Now, I have this seat adjusted to my regular driving position. I'm 6 feet tall. I'm not touching, but I'm really, really close with my knees to the back of the seat. I do have probably about an inch and a half maybe above my head, so headroom is substantial, and I don't feel cramped as far as the shoulder room. So just a little bit of a knee room. Now, this seat is adjustable. It moves back and forth, but I do have it adjusted to the furthest position. I can recline it a little bit to make myself feel more comfortable. And I gotta tell you, this interior is very different. I'm usually not a big fan of a red interior, but well, let me show it to you. I'm going to start the interior tour of this vehicle in the back and the rear door panel. And right away it pops at you. This red color over here, red and black, and that's basically the theme for the interior of this vehicle. So you do have this leather insert, contrast stitching right over here. You have this pretty cool aluminum trim with this 3D design on the inside, really good looking. And then you have a little bit of storage underneath here. Everything above this part right here, basically, this is all injection plastic, so it's nice to the touch, it's soft, and you also have this rear screen for the kids, if or for the sunscreen, right? But let's check inside, right? Here, told you, it's a lot of red. Usually not a big fan of red, but this one looks very, very good. Now you can see that there's a combination of leather, and it does have this suede insert like in the middle, and the leather quality is super nice. And sorry for all the cows that had to sacrifice their lives to make this interior, but you know what? I dig it. I enjoy it. Now, so you can see it's a 3-seater configuration in the back, but if you didn't want that, you can have a 2-seat configuration, boom, and fold it up, and you can actually have a console right here with 2 cup holders. And if you really wanted to take it out, I believe there is a way of taking the seat out. Yep, you can take the whole seat out, and you have 2 captain chairs in the middle. So that's pretty cool. What's also a nice feature is all of the Acuras and Hondas, they have this technology that without using any of the electronics or power, you can actually get in the back seats really quickly. So check this out. There's a button right here. All you do is press it. Boom. And the seat does the work. And that allows me to get inside this 3rd row seat, you know, without waiting or powering up the car or anything like this. Now, the size of the seats, well, I'm going to try to get in there in a minute here and see how much room we have. But just by looking at it, I think it's basically for kids only. Look how much room you have. Now, I'd have to move that seat forward to even fit my legs inside of there. Another feature worth talking about is, of course, this rear console over here. So you actually have your own controls for the climate control. So you have your temperature control, different vent modes, different fan speeds. You have your vents, of course, and then right underneath here, you have your power outlet, which is the 12-volt power adapter. And you do have a, well, this is empty. I thought you'd have the regular household outlet, but maybe that's an optional equipment. But you do have 2 USB Type A ports over here. And worth mentioning, of course, is that there's no bump in the floor itself, so it makes it for nice and comfortable ride for all 3 passengers. The seats at the back of the seats, this is all plastic. Very smart idea, especially if you have kids. And then you have some storage in those seat back pockets over here. Well, guys, I promised you that I'm going to get in the 3rd row seat, so that's what I'm going to do right now. See how much room there is. Well, first of all, getting inside of it, I can already tell you, not a whole lot of room. Let's move this down. Okay, and can I even close this seat on me? Not when it's all the way back, so it has to be a couple inches towards the front, which would limit the seat roominess inside of the second row seat. Now if I really had to and I had no other choice, yes, I would fit in here, but this is definitely for kids or somebody a lot smaller than myself. Now you do have cup holders on both sides. There's no connectivity that I can see. You do have speakers in the back, so if you use that voice projection from the front, the kids will definitely hear you. And here's your third seat for the middle right here. But definitely as far as the roominess in the third row seat, kids only. We're talking Honda, Acura, quality, reliability. Let's hear how this vehicle sounds when you close the door. Boom, and it doesn't disappoint. It's 10 out of 10, really nice, solid. Let's check out the front door panel over here. So in addition to what we've seen in the back, now you can see that you do have the 3 memory seat settings. You have the same trim as on the back, and the ELS Studio 3D. That's the sound that you get on this MDX Type S. And of course your mirror window lock controls, and that's where you open your back gate. A little bit more storage in the door, Type S on the door, so Type S on the old season mats over here. Nice aluminum pedals right there. You can see they have this rubber stubs on it to prevent your feet from slipping, and of course multiple adjustments for the power seats. That's both on the driver and passenger side. The seats are more contoured than the rears, still look as cool, especially like this headrest over here. That's adjustable. It looks very nice, it feels very nice, and it's very comfortable. Let me jump inside of it, show you the rest of it. Check this out, guys. I don't know what that noise was, but here's the interior of 2023 MDX Type S. Not really a big fan of red, but this interior is super cool, is sporty. I like it. Look at this multi-tier dashboard. This is all leather wrapped with the contrast stitching that's in red over here. You have the same trim as we've seen on the doors, a little bit of a piano black, and this leather that's all red. But this is not like kind of in your face red. It's a little bit toned down. Really looking good. Now 12.3-inch screen for your infotainment system, and then another instrument cluster. I think that's 10-inch instrument cluster, really nice and visible. I tell you what, we're gonna turn this vehicle on, and I'll tell you why. Couple things. Look at this. First of all, it comes to life. It does this dance, says Type S, you know, etc. over here, but mainly is because it turns the air conditioning on. And if you were wondering what the temperature is outside right now, 91, we're in October in Florida, it's about 100% humidity, so let's go. And let's talk about the interior of this vehicle. All right, steering wheel, first of all, very nice to the touch, just the right thickness. Flat bottom over here. You have a contrast stitching over here. You can see the red stitching around it. Pedal shifters right in the back, a bunch of buttons on both sides. Now this basically controls your audio system, it controls your apps, and you can turn on or off your audio system on this side. On this side, it controls what's going on in the instrument cluster, as well as your dynamic cruise control, as well as your lane keep assist. So that's on the right hand side, and I'm going to show you of what's going on in the instrument cluster. So first of all, first things first, on the right hand side you have the speedometer, left hand side you have a tachometer. At the bottom you have your wrench, so we have 27 miles to empty. I think that's enough. 64 miles on the vehicle, 91 degrees. We're in normal drive mode. Let's see if anything changes if we change it to Sport or Sport Plus. There you go. Sport Plus gives you a little bit more features. So right on top of it, your RPMs, you know, switched from the left to the top. You have your speed right there. On the left hand side where you've seen the RPMs before, now you have the peak PSI as far as the turbo and the turbo boost PSI, so you can track it at any given moment. Also, it opens up some dampers in the exhaust, so it sounds a little bit nicer, it sounds a little bit better, and you know, it of course increases the performance of this vehicle. So this is basically your instrument cluster. Let's see what we have as far as the info system. So you have the Let's start from the top here. Fuel low, right now this is your warning trip computer. You have trip A and B, you can select that too. Navigation, maintenance, tire pressure, sh all-wheel drive, so that's that super handling all-wheel drive that tells you of which wheels are getting the power at any given moment. Now we're standing still, so it's 0. G meter, okay, driver attention level, empty screen, safety support. Let's see what we have. We have the road departure mitigation, that's on. Blind spot information system, that's on. Low speed braking control, collision mitigation braking system. You can turn those off if you'd like. I'm not sure why would you do that, but you could. Now let's go to the last screen, and that's gauge settings, and you can actually change the gauge layout from advanced to crafted if you like the more traditional styling. Here you go, you can do that. Push to change. You can do the advanced. I think I like the advanced a little bit more. You can also do the speed and distance unit, so if you'd rather see it in kilometers versus miles per hour, you can do that as well. So that's your instrument cluster. Let's move on to the infotainment system. 12.3-inch screen. I think it's in the right place. Okay, it is a little dim. This is one of the things that I wasn't a big fan. I'm still not of this system. It's the way that it's controlled. So it is not a touch screen. So as you can see, I can touch it, even though it's within reach. You know, it's not touch control. So you can only control it basically either via voice or via this trackpad over here, which is kind of awkward, and I'll tell you why. So here, when you look at the system over here, when I am holding on my finger on this trackpad, you can see that it highlights. But as soon as I move it off, it disappears. So if I, mistakenly remove my finger from it, it's basically going to disappear. Now let's go back to the main screen over here, and let's see what we have. So you have a navigation, phone, Sirius XM, FM radio, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, which, by the way, it is wireless. It's, first of all, let's check out the navigation system. Continue offline. Okay, same navigation system I've seen in other Honda and Acura models. It's actually a pretty good system. It's pretty accurate. It really hasn't lost me any time that I've been using mine, and it looks like it's exactly the same system. So all apps, you have the Acura Link, AM, FM, Android Auto, Connect phone. Okay, so we're going to select my phone over here, and I hit connect. I already paired it. It really takes only a few seconds to pair, so not a big deal. It is connecting. Let me see, do I need to do anything on my phone? Okay, so when safe, unlock your phone to start using Android Auto. So I'm going to unlock it and continue setup on the screen. Let's do this. There you go. You have your Android Auto basically right here. If you like to use this versus the navigation that you have on the Acura, that is a great option. By the way, like I said, no wires, wireless connection. Great job on that Acura. By the way, let's go back to the main screen over here. Now I see that there's 3 different screens, and if it was touchscreen, I can basically just slide it over and get to the 3rd screen. But I can't, and this is all that I have. Oh, here it is. So I moved it. It's actually going in a different direction. So you have Bluetooth audio, social playlist, USB audio, AM radio, AT&T hotspot, cabin talk, which is, by the way, a feature that if you want to project your voice to the rear speakers, you can, so the kids can't tell you that they can't hear you. And let's go to the next screen, Acura Link and messages. So just going to the wrong direction. I guess it will take a little bit of getting used to controlling this screen. By the way, as you can see, it is kind of divided into 1/3 and 2/3. And so is the controller. This is the 2/3, this is the 1/3. So you can control it separately to as far as what's going on this little screen over here. See, I highlighted it over here. It says audio off right now, and then we can have the navigation system over here if you'd like to, and then we can have just a clock or different settings if you prefer to. So again, this would definitely be one of the things that would take me a little bit of getting used to. see for yourself. You know, from what I've been told, a lot of people like it and prefer using the trackpad to the touchscreen. Maybe I'm just a weird one, but check it out for yourself and see if you like it. One thing we can't forget about looking at the infotainment system is the rear view camera, and there is such a thing. So you can see the visibility, actually it's pretty good. It's not bad as far as the resolution of the camera. Again, I wish it took out the entire screen versus the 2/3, and I wish it kind of had the 360. I could have sworn that I read that it does have the 360. Maybe it's an optional equipment that's available, but this particular one definitely doesn't have it. The only thing that you can change, oh, I forget it's not a touchscreen, is the different angles of the camera over here. You can change the brightness, adjust the settings of the camera, and on the right hand side over here you can see this vehicle icon. That's basically for your sensors, for your parking sensors, so you can see what's going on, how close you are to certain things. Not the end of the world, but I think in this price range, when you're looking at the premium vehicles, it should have a 360. So scrolling down from there, you can see regular events. You have another screen with the climate control, and that's basically you can adjust your temperature. At the bottom, bunch of shortcuts so you can turn off and on the system, the fan basically. You have your ventilated heated seats, so 3 stages in both, 3 stages ventilated, 3 stages heated. I have it in auto, and this is the dynamic mode. This is the magic dial over here that changes of the dynamics of the vehicle. See, we're in Sport Plus right now, really nice and aggressive graphics. Sport is over here, normal, comfort, and snow. Here's one thing that I haven't told you. This vehicle has an air suspension, so it lifts and lowers the vehicle depending on which mode you're in. Now I have set it up for the lift mode, so basically it gives me the maximum lift. I can feel this vehicle lifting quite a bit. I'm not sure what the exact number is, but definitely there's a difference between the lowest and the highest setting over here. So scrolling down below, this is basically where your gears are being switched. So your drive, reverse, parking, neutral. You have your engine start off and on. You can turn that automatic engine start off and on. Brake hold. On the right hand side to it, you actually have your power center, so you have your USB-C and the USB Type A, and then over here basically your trackpad. You do have your volume button, power button over here, and then basically you can adjust your tracks or stations using this button right underneath here. You can put your phone in here if you want to, or you can leave it in the wireless charger, which is right underneath this palm rest. Cup holders and a little bit more storage over here with another USB Type A and the power outlet. So this is what the interior looks like on this 2023 MDX Type S. Also, one thing to mention, it does have panoramic sunroof. I know a lot of people were complaining, hey, why Acura doesn't do panoramic sunroofs? Well, you can't complain anymore because it does. Nice big panoramic sunroof. Here's your sunglasses holder. Now you can just slide it open if you'd like to. Nice windscreen. You can tilt it open, and you can actually close the screen over here, and you'll see how much darker it's going to get in the vehicle, because this is not this transparent screen. This is all like a solid kind of deal, so it gets a lot of darker. It lets a lot more air inside of this vehicle if it's open. And this is it, guys. This is the interior of this 2023 Type S. Let's take it for a spin. Well guys, I'm sitting in this vehicle ready to take it for a spin. I told you I don't really do red, and look at my shirt. It matches with the interior of this vehicle, but that's basically a coincidence. I really did not know that I was going to do a review of this Acura MDX today. It was a surprise. It was a really nice surprise. Again, a huge thanks to Carguy Acura of Fort Pierce, Florida, for allowing me to do this video for you. Now, if you look at the Acura's website, it says 2023 MDX Premium Performance SUV starting starting at $49,050. Now this is for the base one. If we wanted to go to where we're sitting in right now, this particular vehicle is at $69,000.50, something like this. But anyway, so let's see what we have. First of all, if you look, choose an MDX powertrain. It's going to give you two different powertrain options, right? It's going to give you the basic, which is 290 horsepower, 3.5 liter V6, naturally aspirated, or it's going to give you this one, 3.0 liter V6 turbo, 355 horsepower. Okay, we'll select this one. Automatically, it's going to take us to a Type S model. So we're going to build it. It starts at $67,350. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different colors, including this yellow looking one. Wow, it's pretty cool looking. We hit the build button on it, and let's see what this yellow one is called. Tiger Eye Pearl. Oh, I've seen that color on another vehicle. I believe it was on the TLX. That's actually a pretty different looking vehicle. $67,850. You know, when you add the destination charge, you're going to be right around $69,000. So that's probably right around there. Now, as far as the accessories for this car, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for that 360 package. I can't see it. Finally, Acura says, hey, we're cooking with fire. We're actually living up to our racing heritage and putting up vehicles that are, you know, performance driven. You have the TLX Type S, you have the MDX Type S, the new Integra is making a comeback. Well, you know, I haven't really done one, but I've read a little bit. That's a completely different story. We'll get back to it. Now, let's take it for a spin. Before we do that, first of all, seat belts on, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it around 360 in this parking lot to see how this vehicle turns. Now, I tell you, it is 198 inches long, so it is a fairly long vehicle. It's a midsize SUV. Let's see how it turns. I see the big smile on my face. That's because it turns like it has the fifth wheel right underneath it. It's a really tight turning radius. So very impressed with it. Great work on it. And take it on the road. We'll take it on the road. What we're going to do is we're going to check out the acceleration, cornering, braking, take it back to the dealership so they can sell it. This vehicle is so popular, it's flying off the shelves. So I want to make sure that somebody has the opportunity to actually buy it. I'm going to do it softly first, see the acceleration of this vehicle, just like in the normal driving conditions, merging into traffic. Then hopefully we're going to have some open road to really test it out and floor it, see if we can get this 0 to 60 feel out of this performance SUV. Now, if you haven't seen my previous video on the MDX, you can watch that too. I've taken it on the test drive. I really enjoyed it. I think it is a really great premium luxury vehicle. It feels comfortable. You have a great view ahead of you. Really, if I'm looking at the rear view mirror, and even with the third row seats with the headrest up, I still have enough view. Now, of course, I would like to have this camera mirror right in here. A lot of manufacturers are going in that direction. That really makes a difference, but that's not the end of the world. But overall it feels great. Now, I have it in the sports mode. I'm going to switch it over to Sports Plus. It actually tightens it up, and because it does have this air suspension, it also lowers this vehicle depending on the drive mode that you choose on it. So we're going to be in the Sports and Sport Plus modes for basically the duration of this test drive. We have a little bit of open road right here, so I'm going to hit it and see how that 0 to 60 goes. I do have it in the Sport Plus mode. Everything seems good. All right, well, let's hit it. Up to 60. I gotta tell you, there's a few things that I really like about it. I like the sound of it. It's definitely more aggressive with those open exhaust over there. You can definitely hear the difference between this and the regular one. I like the crisp and fast shifting of the transmission. But with that said, it really didn't feel that fast. Maybe I was doing something wrong, but you know, it's quicker than the regular MDX, but at the same time, it's not as quick as some of the other competitors that I have driven. We're talking about the premium SUVs. We're talking about the X5 40i. We're talking about the GLE 43 AMG. Definitely not as fast, but definitely cool. And at $70,000, it's thousands of dollars below the MSRP of the vehicles that I just mentioned. Now, the only one that comes close is really the GV80 with the 3.5T, the advanced package. That was really impressive, but this is Acura. It's known for the reliability, it's known for the quality of build, so it definitely has huge advantages over the competition in that aspect. Overall, a great feel of this vehicle. I enjoy driving it. I think Acura has done a great job to actually add something to their lineup. And a lot of people, and like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, I grew up, you know, driving the Integra Type S and then the TL Type S. So I like the performance aspect of it. And now I have kids. I grew up, right? I want to have something that matches the performance. This is really a great option. Now, it could be a little bit bigger for my needs with the 2 kids and 2 dogs. It's really never enough space. But overall, I think that they did a good job. If you guys are looking for a vehicle, if you're anywhere in Florida, check out the guys over at Carguy Acura in Fort Pierce, Florida. This one is available as time of this filming. Probably by the time this video is on the website, it's not gonna be here. However, I'm gonna post a link in the description of this video as well as the phone number so you can check this guys out. Again, huge shout out and thank you to Carguy Acura Fort Pierce for allowing me to film this vehicle. With that said, guys, I'm gonna floor it one more time in just a little bit, see if I was doing something right or wrong, and see how this vehicle accelerates just in a little bit. Stay tuned. Guys, one last time, we're gonna test it out. I have my foot on the brake and the accelerator, not a real launch control, but let's see it. Much faster. I think that's the way to do it. I'm not sure if there's a launch control that's pre-programmed in this vehicle. I was told that there is, but that's definitely the way to go, is to have the foot on the brake, have the foot on the gas at the same time, let it go at a certain RPMs, and it's gonna, you know, basically slingshot you. And that definitely felt a lot faster. So again, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it for you. If you like content like this, do me a favor, check out the rest of my channel. Consider subscribing. I'll see you in my next video.